Hello, Blizzard fans! This is FalconPaladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is a game between Bonkarooni and Walnut on Lerilak Crest. This is a PvZ, which is my favorite matchup, and let's get right on into it. In the top right of Lerilak Crest, we have the red Zerg player. It is Bonkarooni. And in the bottom left of Lerilak Crest, we have the blue Protoss player. It is Walnut. And again, this is on the latest patch of Legacy of the Void. You'll notice the Chrono Boost is immediately available to the Protoss player. It will stay here forever and ever until Walnut chooses to move it onto another building that could use it, like a forge, or like a robotics bay or robotics facility, or even the cybernetics core for the Warp Gate research upgrade. But for now, this is where it will stand. It does cause the building to operate 20% faster in production of the probes, always and forever. The Zergs still have the auto-injects with the Queens, and this is actually a spawning pool first build from Bonkarooni. So spawning pool into hatch, I have to assume, but not enough money for a hatch. What is this drone doing? Just scouting. Alright, scouting drone. I like to see this from players, no matter who they are. Bonkarooni, let's see. Are we saving up money here? Yes, we have enough money to make a drone, but we're not actually doing it, which tells me we're going to save up 300. Going to take our natural expansion right down this handy ramp. And then probably get some gas. So Bonkarooni is very cautious, like me, against Protoss. I don't like going 15 hatch against Protoss because I feel like if I get cannoned out, or there's proxy gateways, that I'll end up dead and bad things will happen. But either way, gateway popping on out now. There's immediately the cybernetics core. I don't think Walnut is going to bother with any zealots. You don't see zealots a whole lot in Legacy of the Void just because the adept fills the role so well. I mean, adepts do cause gas. That is very true, but adepts fill that role of kind of taking care of lings and doing some harassment just better because they're ranged. They hit fairly hard as well. A small group of lings poking out just to scout out. The drone comes in and says, okay, that's a pretty quick nexus from my friend Walnut here. Probably a gateway expand, and indeed it is. Full scout. There's not actually double gas coming up from Walnut. That's interesting. Usually I'll see double gas being used, 2 workers on each gas or 3 workers on each gas from Protoss to tell me they're going to go adepts. There's the cybernetics core, and there's the adept warping in. So this is actually some pretty quick 6-ling aggression from Bonkarooni. And you'll notice he is down on the drone count because of that 15 to 23. Kill this base maybe? No, actually coming right on into the main, immediately trying to chrono boost out the adept to deal with these lings, pulling all of the probes, about half the probes to try to deal with these zerglings. A probe does end up dead. Ooh, microing back the probe that was weakened to save him. Another one getting sniped down though, and another probe ends up dead as well. Then the adept shows up. He can 2-shot these lings, try to get a surround on the setup. That's not going to happen. The setup can kill this many lings with no problem. Okay. Small problem. Actually, do we get the adept? Oh, I lied! That was just enough lings to actually kill that adept, surprisingly. Oh, and a proxy hatch inside the main base. Bonkarooni, you are a crazy person. We're getting a second extractor here. Are we getting speed? We're not even getting speed. We're not worried about it. We can use slow lings to beat this Protoss player, says Bonkarooni. Walling off at the front because that's where Walnut thinks the action is. He has no idea that's there, does he? He does not. Look at that. That barely covers that corner. This is something that Bonkarooni's done before. He knew exactly where to place this, though it was hidden from the Protoss player. But the creep spread is out. And now, yep, if Walnut's paying attention, he can see it. How is he going to respond is the question. Immediately bringing the adept up to try to kill some stuff. Throwing down a pylon here, maybe for some photon overcharge. That's another difference in the latest patch. Mothership cores can actually use photon overcharge on pylons, which is pretty brilliant. So 2 lings come in, pretty much immediately die without killing anything. I don't know what that was all about. A queen trying to pop in at the same time. I think we're just going to cancel everything here. There we go. Photon overcharge being used on this pylon. It's inside the creep, but it still functions as such. These lings try to run out. They do manage to survive. The queen injects and tries to escape as well, but no, she ends up dead. Couple more shots, and she will end up dead. A small attack here from lings, around this base as well, getting a surround on this cannon. They will kill this cannon before it can finish. A couple adepts warp in. A surround would be super dangerous, but no, Bonkarooni chooses instead to go after the probes, doing a great job of it. This hatchery is going to die eventually. Might take a while. Another probe dies though. That's 8 probes that have died so far. It's 32 to 28. The Zerg player's actually ahead in worker count. We're making another queen at this base. I think maybe try to snipe down the mothership core if no one's paying attention up here, but I think Walnut is keeping this under his watchful eye for sure. Another inject from this queen. Oh, it's the auto inject though. I don't think Bonkarooni's choosing to do that. Trying to snipe down the Mothership Core, but she does not have enough DPS to do it. Nope. Mothership Core takes 10 points of hull damage, but that's it. Trying to take out eggs. There are lings popping out of here. I'm not sure if that's a great choice. More lings flying on in. End up dead to these adepts as well. Bonkarooni is definitely being very aggressive as a Zerg player, but I don't know if it's going to pay off. At this point, units lost tab is 18 lings, 2 queens, versus a single adept, 8 probes, and a cannon. And the broodlings will pop out here. Try to get us around on those adepts. Actually going for the workers, microing them. Are we going to kill a probe? Hey, I think we actually killed a probe with those broodlings. That's not something you hear every single day in StarCraft, is it? Researching a lair is a Bonkarooni and throwing up 3 spine crawlers. He's really afraid of retribution from Walnut at this point. And honestly, I think he has pretty good reason to. Why are you making anything here? Cancel that. There we go. There's the cancel. Jeez, Bonkarooni. You know better than that. Again, there is no way Walnut's going to move out at this point, although he might do it actually. He has a lot of adepts, a couple stalkers, a couple sentries as well. So these 3 spines I think were early, but I guess maybe not super early. Does Walnut even know where the Zerg player is? He does not. He hasn't scouted at all. He is sending a probe out to see if we're in the bottom right corner, but no, the Zerg player is in the top right corner instead. Might get a free Overlord and a free... Ooh, this drone might try to plant down... Yep, going to try to plant down a hatchery, and Walnut might accidentally kill it if he goes up into the main. I don't... You know what? He's not, though, because he's going to see there's not a natural and recognize that's not where the Zerg player is. Sneaky base remains sneaky. You looked out there, Bonkarooni. So here come the Stalkers. Again, Stalkers, Adepts, Sentries, and a Mothership Core just for good measure. We have Roaches, we have Queens. We have 3 Spines. I think Spines are a great idea against this composition. Adepts don't do well against buildings at all, but here we come. The Queen at the front door takes a couple shots. The Spines, ooh, the snipe down of the Creep Tumor as well. Spines poking away. I don't think Walnut wants to come up that ramp, especially with 2 more Spine Crawlers in production. Maybe waiting for additional Adepts. Might be something that we can do. Forward pylon being used by Walnut, kind of out of the way, but again, definitely closer than if he just warped in at home. So Walnut is using his Chrono Boost on this warp kit, which is doing nothing right now. I don't think he's quite used to how this works, but gonna sit at the front door, kind of do a soft contain on the Zerg player. And actually the Phoenix does a beeline for this base. I don't know. Wow, that's some interesting game sense from Walnut. There it is, finds the base. A small group of roaches try to come in and deal with this, but no. Force fields aren't that great. They do manage to escape, but they retreat. And what's that? Oh, Warp Prism harassment coming in. Warp Prism full of 4 adepts going to go after these workers. The Queen immediately needs to kill this Warp Prism. No, decides to go after the Stalker instead. Not a great choice. Roaches popping up. Oh, we have Mutalisks though, going to try to chase down this Warp Prism, and they are faster, I do believe. Mutalisks are very fast. This poor Warp Prism is trying to run for its life. A couple more shots though from the Mutas. Boosh. Ends up dead with all the units that are inside. Lings spawning from the space and running away. Drones spawning here too, but they're not going to last very long at all. Overlord kind of scouting this out, seeing this weird looking statue thing at the bottom of the map. And yeah, Walnut's forces are here. They're going to kill this Queen. They're going to kill these drones. They're going to kill this base. Unfortunately, the Ninja expansion is no longer a Ninja. Not hidden at all. It's going to die very, very quickly. Replacement third base being taken down by Bonkarooni. Muta Harass coming on in, going to try to take down this photon cannon, and yes, they do get it. Now try to go to town on the probes, but if 4 stalkers come in and chase them away. 11 probes have now died for Walnut, which is nothing to sneeze at, but still not super amazing. More and more Mutalisks are in production. Extended Thermal Lance. Walnut, are you going Colossus in this game? I think you're going Colossus in this game. This pylon being taken down by the Mutas and their glaive worms. Kablooey! There goes the pylon. And there was something over here going on. Did something try to get through and die? I don't know. This base dies. This Overlord is somehow alive. Did it spawn after the army left? I bet it did. The Mutas hanging out. I don't like Mutas hanging out. I know it's a lot of APM to actually use Mutas constantly. Try to kill stuff, but man, if you could swing around this back area and get up in here, these probes are actually fairly well undefended. Blink being researched as well. Is that another? Yeah, we can actually see that. Yeah, you could probably kill that pylon if you really wanted to. Yep. The Mutas swoop right on in and take care of that pylon at the same time. Now, third base coming up for Walnut. He has no presence outside of the immediate area. He is holding the Zelnaga Watchtower, but who knows how long that's going to last. 3 bases up for the Zerg player. It is 51 to 45 total workers. Bonkarooni playing this a crazy game. Missile attack and Carapace being researched. as well as glial reconstitution and +1 flyer, which is nice if you have mutas. Again, mutas trying to harass as they can, coming on in, but the cannon placement is pretty good. Both these cannons can attack mutas that fly over here, which is a bit of an issue. And hey, we found the third base. The mutas might try to force a cancel, but I don't think they have enough DPS to actually do it. There's the photon overcharge being thrown down on that pylon. That is just so crazy to me. I really can't see Blizzard keeping that. It's just, I mean, I think the trade-off here is that, yeah, you can put photon overcharge on 4 buildings instead of just 1, but the pylon only has 200, 400 hit points, and Nexus have 2,000. So maybe the idea is you can try to snipe this down if you're Terran or if you're Zerg, and prevent it from continuing, prevent the photon overcharge from continuing, but I don't know. I haven't seen very many people happy about this on the forums or in discussions. Another warp prism here to replace the one that was lost by our friend Walnut. Not warping in anything at the moment. A big swell of roaches. We have mutas over here. Maybe a 2-pronged attack. And yep, the upgrades just finished on these roaches. They are +1/+1, which is nice, but that's a pretty big army with a disruptor and with an immortal as well. We're not actually making Colossus. I'm not sure if Walnut intended to get extended thermal lance, but the mutas are flying in here to try to take stuff down, immediately focus down these cannons. The army is forced to retreat. The roaches come around to take advantage of that abandoning, taking out a pylon, working down another cannon here. The mutas are forced to fly away. The double-pronged attack working fairly good. The roaches clearing out cannons for the muta harass later on. Also trying to take out some of their pylons, or some of the probes of their own here. And going to get another one. Disruptor shot actually misses, killing a friendly probe. Unfortunately, the whole army is there, but the mutas come back to try to snipe down this space. The double-pronged harass is seriously very impressive right now from Bonkarooni. All of these roaches end up dead. The mutas are taking out individual stalkers as they come in. Another photon overcharge comes up, though. Getting the mothership core is a big pickup. Yes, the mutas do manage to get it. It's 137 and 103 supply. Fourth base has now popped for Bonkarooni. He sends the mutalisks home. Walnut trying to lick his wounds. He's making Archons. He has Immortals. He has Disruptors. He has a great composition right now against Zerg. He just needs to really get the macro up behind it, catch up to the supply that the Zerg player has, and he could probably win this game. We'll have to see how that goes, though. Where is that? He did research extended thermal lance, but I don't see any Colossus on the field. I think he meant to do something else. Did he mean to do gravitic boosters to make observers faster? I don't know. I really don't know what the intent was there, but mutas flying around trying to find forward pylons and stuff. There is actually a warp prism sitting right here. It's been here for a while. Walnut seems to have forgotten about it, but maybe warping in some adepts, picking them up, and attacking this base would be nice. It's entirely undefended at this point, making an infestation pit, making a hydralisk den, getting +2 flyer attack. Bonkarooni is committing to this muta harass. Bam, comes right on in, snipes out an Archon. Is that what that was? The mutas wait for Walnut to come out and then force a recall by attacking. The entire army's back here, allowing the Zerg player even more time to extend this creep, even more time to saturate this fourth base with workers. 61 to 37 total workers right now. Walnut just cannot keep this base going. Can't really get it saturated at all. No, the stalkers are here. The mutas are forced to retreat. Overlord again, just checking things out. I keep seeing this and thinking, is this an overseer or something? But it's not. Are we mining out? Yeah, pretty much mining out at the main base here. And the second base isn't looking too hot either. I mean, doing okay, I suppose. There we go. There's the warp prism, warping in a few adepts and a zealot. Might actually take down this queen. The response is going to be a bunch of roaches. I like this very much. Are we going to save the queen? Yeah, we might actually save the queen. Adept, boosh. She ends up dead as well. Does not have the screaming death voice that I expected, because I got quiet there for a little bit, but instead she just died silently. Sometimes they yell, like ghosts do. Again, more harassment from the mutas along this left side. Not really finding good angles to get in here because Walnut has his entire army camped out at that third base. And an Archon here for some base defense at the natural. 2 Archons, actually. Another probe ends up dead, but those clumped up mutas are a juicy target for the Archons. They take out a couple of the mutas before forcing the mutas away. Mutalisks that have died are 11. 11 total, but 38 probes have died right now for Walnut. It is just a bummer for him. He's trying to keep up, but it's 192 to 133 supply. The Zerg player is basically maxed out, can do whatever he wants. The hive is being researched. Is that +2? Yeah, +2 and +2 being researched as well. Zelnunga Watchtower popping up. The Mutaflock sees it. They back on out. So we have Roach Hydra Muta against this Blink Adept Single disruptor and immortal composition. Here we come from all angles, though. Gonna try to snipe these things down. Disruptor shot, bam, kills a lot of stuff. The force fields try to keep things away. They are not fantastic, unfortunately, but Muta's on top of everything, trying to kill what they can. Force fields trying to help the retreat of the Protoss army. Is that disruptor going to die? That would be a huge, huge thing for Bonkarooni. Bam. He gets the disruptor. The Mutas fly down to try to kill more and more stuff, but this double Archon, I just don't know if this is going to work at all. There is a cannon here at the same time. The Mutas are forced to retreat, trying to come up here with the Roach Hydra army. I don't know if it's going to happen for Bonkarooni. He is forced to retreat there. Man, that disruptor shot was insane. Once again, players, if you are Zerg, you need to learn how to split. The disruptor comes in. It's going to sit there for a couple seconds before it explodes, unless it's timed perfectly by the Protoss player. But man, most of the time it comes in, you have time to select your units and get them out of there. Like this, move out, like this, move out, like this, move out. And you can actually do pretty well in saving your roaches and your hydras. Disruptors do 2-shot roaches and 1-shot hydralisk. The disruptor is dead, though, and hasn't been replaced by Walnut, but he's pushing out again. He has a 4th base on the way. 5th base now popping up for Bonkarooni. Production Shab, there we go. There comes some Vipers, +3 missile attack, +3 ground carapace, and Ravager range as well. We are morphing in some Ravagers. The Muta's trying to force a cancel on this 4th base. Walnut says, I don't care. We're going for it. But the Roach surround, the Ravager surround is too much. Corrosive Bile coming down, actually catching a couple Stalkers there. Good use of that ability. Can we force the cancel on the Nexus? Yes. Actually killed it. Did not get the cancel off. Walnut is going to be so frustrated by that. He is playing as well as he possibly can, but this is a maxed out Zerg army. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total bases for the Zerg. Not looking good at all for our Protoss hero. And Muta's flying on in again. We could probably force another cancel. There's a single Archon here. It does have +3 attack, which is pretty scary stuff. They got the probe, though. The Muta's got the probe before he could even start the Nexus. That hurts. Alright, so the good thing for Walnut is that Bonkarooni is basically letting him sit back and kind of continue to macro up and get his army. And just as I say that, Bonkarooni moves out. Here he comes with roaches that are +3/+3 almost. Just +2/+2. We have Vipers to yank some of the disruptors, I suppose. I don't know if there are any. Maybe yank the Immortals or the Archons at this point. But here we come. Hydras in the back. It's pretty much a roach-heavy composition for Bonkarooni. And yeah, here we come. Roaches smashing what they can. Archons at the front end up dead. The automatic barrier does kick in here. Both the Immortals, though, end up dead. Corrosive Bile being thrown down on everything. Choosing to go after the 4th base is this Zerg Swarm. They do get it. They get the cancel. They get the pylon. And just standing and fighting at this point, the Roach is getting an amazing concave. Another Archon falls. Another Archon will get focused down here by the Roaches and the Hydralisks. Corrosive Bile being used. The sentries falling at the same time. There is 1 sentry left. No, there is not. Walnut calls the GG. Bonkarooni is victorious, and Walnut has left the game. So, woo, pretty intense game there. Submitted by Walnut. Thanks for sending that in, good buddy. Again, Walnut is a gentleman and a scholar in sense in both wins and losses. So, the fact that it is Walnut here does not tell you it was a win. Obviously, because this one was a loss. I do have more replays from Walnut to cast over the next coming days. So if you want to see him win, if you're a fan of Walnut, stick around. I'll have more of them to cast. Check the description for Walnut's Twitch channel. He does a lot of streaming out there. He's a very prolific Protoss caster. Alright, so this has been FalconPaladin with yet another daily Blizzard upload. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.